Extra, extra. We have big news on the Kentucky Derby Trail. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trust the Profits YouTube page. My name is Colin Sheehan. This is the Kentucky Derby Prep Briefing Show, a show meant to catch you up on the news, and we have some breaking news as we tape this on Sunday, December 11th. Please like and subscribe. We got some great things coming up on this show, including Matt DeSantis is going to be joining me, and we're going to talk about which barn would you rather have, touching back on Matt's barn tours that he did that were such a success during the Breeders' Cup is something that we're going to integrate into this show. But let's get to that breaking news. Steve Asmussen was certainly one of the barns that we would have taken a lot of our attention on that episode with Matt DeSantis, and it still will, especially with the fact that he's 0 for 24 in the Kentucky Derby. He does have some contenders in his barn: Red Route 1, Disarm, Powerful. But the big news of today is that Extra Anejo is going to be out for a little bit, missing training due to an ankle injury. And this is one of Steve Asmussen's probably biggest chances going into next year for the Kentucky Derby. This horse was purchased for $1.35 million out of Buy Into Mischief and was the 12-to-1 lowest priced horse in the last Derby future pool. The horse hasn't raced since October 13th, and even if he does make it back in January, that would be a 3-month break before training again. So Extra Anejo, for now, off the training trail for the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully all goes well with the ankle. The other big Winchell-owned Steve Asmussen-trained horse is Echo Again by Gunrunner. He is entered in the Springboard Mile at Remington Park. Echo Again won impressively at Saratoga over the summer. And this is his replay here of that race. He then, unfortunately, came back to run 7th behind Curly Jack in the Iroquois at Churchill Downs. In that race, he was wide and dueled. He has had a bullet 5-furlong workout on December 4th. And if you look over the summer, this race by Echo Again, you can see how impressive he was. But then when you see what happens with Extra Anejo, it just shows how delicate it is and how tricky it can be to keep a solid horse on the trail to the Kentucky Derby and have the success. 1 month you're looking great with what your barn looks like. In the matter of not only months, but weeks, that could quickly change. Speaking of that Springboard Mile, it's one of 2 Derby prep races this weekend that are worth points. We should get a look at some of them out of the Cox barn, as he has 12 nominated, including Giant Mischief, who had beat Arabian Lion on the Friday of Breeders' Cup. And we'll show that race for you here in a second. This was the race Friday, race 4 on Breeders' Cup weekend. You had Giant Mischief and Arabian Lion. Arabian Lion is the horse trained by Bob Baffert, not to be confused with Arabian Night, who was impressive on the Saturday of Breeders' Cup. And Giant Mischief is certainly a horse that I'm interested in seeing how he runs back. Some other probables include Practical Move, whose only win so far came on a disqualification in October behind Fort Bragg. More about Fort Bragg in a minute. And 3rd place in the Bob Hope at Del Mar. Release McCracken, a great name, has won his last 2 races. It wasn't an allowance optional claimer, and 150K maiden claiming race is also probable for the Springboard Mile. The other Derby prep race is the Los Al Futurity, a mainstay for the Bob Baffert horses training for the Derby. Possible entries include Fort Bragg, who I just spoke of, Carrollmore Road, and Arabian Lion, who I mentioned and showed in the video, finished second behind Giant Mischief. He is sired by Justify. Arabian Lion has been working very consistently at 5 and 6 furlongs. Another horse that I wanted to mention is Tappett's Conquest. This horse worked December 11th, 3 furlongs, 37 seconds. He was an impressive winner second time out at 10-1 at Churchill Downs. If you don't have him in your virtual stable, he's someone that I might recommend you put in there. That is Tappett's Conquest. On the Oaks Trail this weekend at Los Al was the Starlet Stakes. The Starlet Stakes, otherwise known as the Bob Baffert Stakes, because he was looking for his sixth straight victory and record 9th overall. He entered with the 1-2 favorite Feza being ridden by Pratt. Starting with the break, check out number 6, Pride of the Nile, who basically falls to the knees and is immediately behind the 8 ball. Pride of the Nile's first 3 races were all on turf, and as they came around the turn, the rail opened up, and Juan Hernandez took advantage of that. And you see some bumping there also with Uncontrollable at the top of the stretch. The race did become an inquiry, but the results did stand. Very impressed with Pride of the Nile's effort here in the stretch. Very gutsy. However, Feza grinds it out and gets the victory. Feza is sired by Gervin, is now 2 for 2. Gets Baffert that 6th straight Starlet Stakes and 9th record win in this race. However, Feza is not eligible for points. As you know, Bob Baffert is not, any horses trained by Bob Baffert are not eligible for the Kentucky Derby for this year, or for 2023, I should say. So what's up next for the fillies is the Untappable at the Fairgrounds on December 26th, the day after Christmas. That is also the day of the Gun Runner, obviously with Extra Anejo out now. That opens that race up to become a little less interesting, because Extra Anejo was really who we were looking forward to seeing next. And that's sort of where we are on the Oaks schedule. And there's no change to the standings for the Oaks. Sorry about that. As I said, the Feza does not get the 10 points, being under Bob Baffert. Check out on the Trust the Profits YouTube page. We just released the top 5 stretches in the 2-year-old races so far. We will certainly be updating that as we get closer to the Kentucky Derby. And stick around and subscribe for great episodes coming from the Win Play show from Matt DeSantis. I have Doubling Down on Thursday. We were able to get off the snide and hit our daily double last weekend. And don't forget El Hombre's Thursday night live lounge at 8 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. Take care, everybody.